I think finally there is German leadership. Finally, the Chancellor Angela Merkel has realized, as the by far largest economy in Europe, she has to be a leader. But this has taken some time, and let me explain why leadership in this specific case of the euro crisis was so difficult for Germany. I think this has to do with two fundamental beliefs in German politics, which are deeply rooted in history. The one fundamental belief is we never want to have again inflation. That's number one. Number two is, out of our experience with Second World War, we want to be deeply integrated in the European Union to prevent such thing happening again.
You were mentioning the need for structural reform, and there have been voices since the very beginning of this common endeavor, Eurozone, that the structural differences and the imbalances within Europe may not allow this thing to be solid and to be lasting and sustainable. What do you think, Iain? Is this how does the need for structural reform fit to the need for austerity right now? And is it a real chance to overcome these imbalances in order to form something like a homogeneous European Eurozone? Is that realistic?
It will be difficult because there are such wide differences amongst the European economies, both in levels of prosperity, in the structure of the economy as between, let's say, manufacturing and services, between export-oriented industries and domestically oriented industries. And also on the supply side of most economies, there are significant differences in the way labour markets function. One of the changes that is afoot, particularly in southern Europe, is transformation of the old, highly protected labour market systems. In Spain, to give one example, those with permanent contracts enjoyed up to 2 years employment protection if a company was thinking of firing people. And the result of that was that nearly all new hirings taking place in Spain were on temporary contracts. So there's the privileged insiders and the growing mass of underprivileged outsiders in the labour market, which made the labour market as a whole relatively dysfunctional. Spain is now starting to address this.
Fiscal contractions and the fiscal compact may be expansionary. For instance, if you think about credibility of governments, if austerity is imposed in a credible fashion, and austerity might be beneficial, as we heard of Iain, of the detrimental effect of public debt. According to Reinhardt and Rogoff, debt of about more than 90 percentage points of GDP is extremely harmful. If you see this and contractionary fiscal policies may contribute to lower expected taxes, interest rates, and so on in the future, this might, as we call it, crowd in private investment and might improve long-term refinancing conditions. And as we want to talk about examples here, one good example is Italy versus Spain. More recently, it has been clearly shown on the markets that sticking to fiscal rules is beneficial for lower interest rates and growth in the case of Italy, because Monti credibly committed to some reforms and Spain had some difficulties in committing to a specific budget deficit.